I'd like to officially call to order this meeting of the Park and Downtown Improvement Corporation. I'll ask you to stand with me as I lead our invocation. God, we pause in this moment to thank you for your goodness, for your mercy. We pray for the community of Terrell, for the people that have called it home for a long time, the people that are new to our town. We ask your blessings on all of them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. If you'll join me in the pledge. Oh, I know. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. At this time, we'll hear remarks from visitors if we've had any requested. If not, I will call for a motion to approve the minutes of our October 6th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 6 minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second? I'll second. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. I see we also need to approve, I should have done these in one motion, the September 8th minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Thank you, Sarah. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Hillary. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. This time I'll call on Raylan for our financial report.
Good morning. So this is actually a first start of what I propose to be your future financial reports. What I've done is tried to gather all of your, way back to 2021, your actuals, and then let you view what your actual end of date is once all of the expenses will go through for the end of the fiscal year. The one thing I do want to note, on your fiscal year 23 actual, it will appear as though there was some money spent in the Anderson Griffith development, but that was a line item transfer. Rather than pulling from the fund balance, I just did a line item transfer into our park and our downtown improvements to help cover those additional park improvements that y'all approved for fiscal year 23, and then also some of the downtown expenses. So that was not a direct expense to the Pena Anderson. That was just a line item transfer. You'll also see there your fiscal year 24 budget that was approved, and you'll see an actual year-to-date expenses. The following sheets will just be the worksheets that I will include that will show you your actual vendors and invoices that are paid for each of those line items.
Year-to-date expenses is $681,637, and we have, is this $501,000 excess?
Yes.
To budget?
Well, that went into your fund balance.
Got it.
Yeah. So that was a positive to your fund balance. And so for this coming fiscal year, you have your budgeted income at 1.1 million. We have budgeted expenses at 2.5, so you're proposing to spend approximately 1.3 of your fund balance.
And fund balance today is $3,127,000.
Yes.
Any questions for Raylan? This is helpful, thank you.
Well, and then if there's any comments or any other things that y'all would like to see, but I wanted to make sure that y'all had the full detail every month so that you could also see the invoices that are coming in and the progress on the projects as well. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. No need to approve that. It stands as presented. This time, we will move into new business and discuss and consider site enhancement matching grant program for Golden Oaks Investment LLC. For that, I'll call on Raylan.
So we do have with us today Pamela Ing. She's going to talk a little bit about the project. I'm sure all of you are very well aware that it is the Adelaide project right across the street. So they have been diligently working on this property and we are down to the nitty-gritty of the sidewalk. I've got some pictures that I will pass out. She will be here to discuss her application and the expenses that she's requesting reimbursement for from the paddock. And so this is our new application process, and I will invite Ms. Pamela to come up.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pamela Ng. I think everybody knows that we've been working with this project for long time. And for the sidewalk, we've been working very closely with Fred Collier, he's Texas Department of License and Regulation. So we have a lot of meetings with him. The reason we have a problem because one of the door that was close to on the corner of the side, the back building there is the suite is higher than the sidewalk is kind of lower. So in order to make it ADA compliance and accessible, so we have to put the hand railings and then have to more like making a two-level sidewalk, and this will be ADA compliance. And we try to do that kind of like have architect drawing a lot of different plans. And then we try, first we try to make it into more up to date, and then also look nice too with the requirement of the downtown and central business district look, kind of like with the historic look. So we're going to, so he's drawing different plans for us to review. First, we try to save money to try to see if we can make it more, because we've been spending so much money on this project already. But right now, in order to do ADN compliance, we still have to spend quite a bit of money to complete the sidewalk, which is going to be two sidewalks, the two new sidewalks. And we're going to put in also with a with a nice design bricks and all that. So that's why I'm here today for talking about the sidewalk. I think, do we have the drawings? Yes. The one that I was talking about with the problem that we have is this one here, the suite D on the corner there. In the past, this is just on the old building. It was a window, so it's no entrance. But now if we make it to the entrance, this is a lot higher, and the sidewalk is kind of like sloped down quite a bit. So this drawing might be a little bit confused.
Thank you, Katie. So Katie has put a visual on our screens as well as this screen, and so it appears we're looking at the door on the far left next to Wells Fargo, where there needs to be, there's a grade change, and so there needs to be a wheelchair access ramp installed. And the request before us is for $47,770 to include a sidewalk on Nash, which is what we're looking at, as well as the cost to cover the sidewalk on Adelaide. Brick pavers that I assume are required for downtown sidewalk enhancement? Okay. Accent lighting, and then resurfacing, striping, and removal of the alleyway, something pavement, asphalt pavement, behind the building.
I thought if the pavement is required for the sidewalk in downtown. Yeah, on the design, that was, yeah,
Okay.
approved by the, yeah.
Discussion or questions for Ms. Ng? Raylan, do we have built into our facade grant, improvement grant, are there any maximums for this type of project that we're working against?
So it would be based on a percentage from a staff recommendation. I will say that there was significant damage done to the existing sidewalk. So if there was something in particular that the Paddock Board wanted to sponsor as part of the rebuild, I think that would be more of the ask for Paddock. Obviously, sidewalks do fall under the property owner, and especially in a circumstance like this, the sidewalks were destroyed during construction. And so the sidewalk design was approved during the building permit process, and now it's just a matter of who's going to help pick up the cost on the rebuild. So I did let them know that they would be eligible for some possible reimbursements from the Paddock Board. However, in speaking with Mr. Sims, I do think that we might be able to assist them in other ways with our Public Works Department. So if Paddock wanted to focus more on pavers or accent lighting or things like that within the walkways, I think that that's absolutely appropriate for the direction that you would go, especially if we had possibly another avenue to assist Dr. Ng and Pamela on the actual construction of the sidewalk.
On the Adelaide Street side, and maybe you can show us that on Google Maps. Okay. So what work is gonna be done here? Okay. Oh, good point. Okay. But kind of what I was curious about is the condition of the remainder of that sidewalk on Adelaide. Are we just putting new sidewalk in front of this building and the other is still?
The,
It's pretty much from the edge of the building, as you saw in the previous picture that she has from Nash. It's the same as it is on this side. And it goes up to the edge of that building.
Okay.
All it is. So it's in the same condition. They pulled out all the pavers that were once there. As you can see, some of the pavers were there, some of it's concrete, and they pulled all that out.
Okay.
so you can tell there on that picture that there was existing pavers, and so it would just be to put back what was there. Absolutely, yeah, this is not anything new. The new pavers, because we did not have pavers on the Adelaide side. Yeah. So this would, on the Adelaide side, they would need to replace the pavers that were there. Along Nash, those would be new pavers, because we did not have pavers along our Nash sidewalks.
Thoughts from the board?
I would recommend, if you're looking at accent lighting or even the brick paver, that we would do actual reimbursements from vendor invoices, and just set an amount not to exceed, so that we can actually see the invoice for those.
How many suites does the building have?
4 suites.
Are any of them pre-leased?
Not yet.
Okay.
The reason we're starting all this, on this project to begin with is around 2020. We have a couple doctors call us, and then they told us that they want to lease come in to have a practice here. So we say, okay, but we say that we have to check with, make sure it's leasable or is how much work it needs to be done. So then we will start contacting people specialized in the area and all that, and start looking into it. But then we kind of open a big wound because it's a very old building. So we we try to do one thing, and then we have problem with other things, and just like it kept delaying. And they want to sign the lease with us. We say we cannot guarantee when we can finish, because we found out there's so much problems with the building. We thought we'd do a little renovation, and then end up that we have to tear out 3 walls. We only can save 1 wall on the back. And so then we have, until today, it's like 2-3 years later, we're still dealing with this project.
How much has the Paddock Board contributed to this project to date?
Money to date from the Paddock Board. I will note that the city, through a development agreement, did pick up the demolition and clearing of that parcel. And then they came back with a complete new rebuild rather than a renovation. So the city did pay for the demo.
Okay. I'd like someone to make a recommendation for a motion on how much to fund, what to fund.
Raylan, have we committed without having to search through the budget, any funds similar to this?
It would be within your facade reimbursement line item.
Where are we with that? you
We
just-
put,
A general number?
you have. For fiscal year '24, you have budgeted 75,000, and I will remind you that you will also be making the lease reimbursement agreement this fiscal year beginning in January or February, depending on their open date. And so that will also be coming out of the line item. And you're looking at approximately, I would think a good budget would be about 5,000 a month, beginning in February for reimbursement. It averages out, we keep it under the $25,000 maximum. So if, because the lease would be max, you can just say, move out 25,000, and that's what's promised for the next 2 fiscal years.
That's 25,000 is what we've committed.
Yes.
That's where I'm going, that was where I was going. Thank you.
We still have room in our budget on this line item. I think we're all, but the Ings particularly, are ready to see this building complete and open and leased.
Yeah, I think that, that too, I don't want to bring this up, but I want to anyway, say it anyway. I think that when we start building a long time ago, like 3 years ago, Planning Board did agree to certain amount for us to finish the project. And so we were dealing with another member, he's not here anymore. But then my husband and I, we were very busy in our, what we do, like medicine. So we didn't know what's going on with all this Planning Board stuff and all that. We still thought at that time, when we tried to finish the project, we still thought that we still have a qualify for Planning Board reimbursement. But then we found out that actually for doing a rebuild, that they only agreed to just pay us for the demolitions. But when we start redoing the project, and when we're building the project, we asked for, say, hey, do we have, can we draw from Planning Board? And then we found out that we no longer qualify for that. So that's another thing that it was not in our budget at that time. So we still try to get loan. We try to see how we get funds for all that. We didn't know that doing this project would cost us that much money.
Would be different.
Yes.
Well, I'll say, I appreciate new construction in downtown where it makes sense. In this case, it made sense. You all have made a significant investment, primarily on your own, really on your own. And I would like this board to consider funding partial or full request that's before you, and I'll call for that motion. I'm trying not to be bossy and asking one of y'all to make a motion for whatever you're comfortable.
Right, the actual sidewalk construction. And so my recommendation would be a paddock roll would be some of the extra rather than the construction of the actual sidewalk.
So 1 and 2 is the actual construction?
Yes, ma'am.
So basically, I forget I have to turn myself. So basically, we're looking at the pavers and the lighting, which way over in the packet is $9,300 plus dollars. Okay.
And like I mentioned before, if you are interested in reimbursing items for number 3 and number 4, I would just say an amount not to exceed, and that we would reimburse based on actual invoices.
I'm
I
ready.
have one question.
Oh, sure.
I see the drawing with the light fixtures. I mean, is that something you have selected, or is this just an idea?
I talked to the contractor, and then he said that this is how much it will cost for each lighting. So he give a budget of like, I think it's 8 lightings there, and then he just told me that this is going to be how much it will, he gave me the budget, say, this is how much you can spend on the lighting.
Right.
Is this what you're looking at installing? Is that what you budgeted? Those style lighting?
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that we have something that is suitable for the historical district.
That's why when we draw this, that's why they go with the historic looks, with the
Okay.
antique looks, and then we have to stay with that.
Bobby worked very diligently with their engineers and architects to make sure that the brick colors and everything was kept within the scheme. They really did go above and beyond to give the look and feel of the building.
Same thing,
Defer to Hillary now.
Okay.
it's the same thing like the sidewalks, how to draw it and how to pay, how they're going to decide the sidewalk and all that. We already spent over $10,000 just for the architect. And we have this specialist from the state. And we have many, many meetings, and then the architects, drawings and all that.
Thank you.
So with that being said, I agree that kind of the purpose of our board is to add the extras. So I would make a motion that we would fund not to exceed the bidded amount for line item 3 and 4, the brick pavers and accent lighting, with reimbursement due upon receipt.
I second it.
Any other discussion?
I will call you
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
about the
Opposed, same sign.
for the
Motion carries.
Which, if my math is right, my math, that comes out to $9,550.
Thank you, Ms. Singh. We appreciate you coming this morning. At this time, we'll discuss and consider downtown landscape project bid tabulation and the recommendation to City Council. For that, I'll call on Raylan.
Okay. So, we've had a lot of fun negotiating out with vendors and contractors, et cetera. So what you have before you is a certified bid from North Rock. They had a few reservations in the actual bid document, so we did send out an addendum to vendors. They were having a hard time with the timing to get the bid bond. They will still be bonded during construction, but they couldn't get the bid bond in time. So I did waive the bid bond for all vendors. And a lot of people were very worried about the steel planter panels and how they didn't really want to be responsible for the install and how does that work. So we pulled number 125 from the vendor packet as well. In speaking with Kimley Horn, this unit price that I have here is a 10% increase over what the actual vendor quoted us a couple of weeks ago. In talking with Jamie and Glenn, I think that this is something we'll be able to do in-house. So I am recommending that the city purchase directly the steel planters, the steel planter panels, and then we will handle the install of those downtown. So your actual budget for the project comes in at $500,562.50. And of course, we still have the 20% contingency and 10% general conditions, which we have absolutely no plan of spending and would come back to both you and a recommendation to City Council if something comes up and we need to go into that. Your budgeted Line item is $500,000, and like I said, I have a 10% increase on your wall panels, so I think your actual expenses on this project are gonna be under the 500,000 line item. And this is exactly, good job to Kinley Horn, this is exactly in alignment with what they were projecting. So the recommendation for city council would be a total contract amount not to exceed $500,562.50. And with the understanding that if we needed to make changes to that, where our contingency and general conditions lie. But of course, that would be a budget decision, and we would come back to you for that.
Questions for Raylan?
We have our December 10th start date, so we were not tearing up anything before the parade, but we will be working nonstop as soon as Holly Jolly is over on Saturday. I'm telling the chamber we gotta get packed up and moved out, so
Raylan, tell me, did you say North Rock is who?
North Rock,
Okay, and how many bids did we get?
just the one. And so once we posted the addendums, we extended out to, there were 2 other vendors who also did not reply. So we did extend the final bid amount to come in Monday at 10. So that's why what I can present to you today is the maximum amount. And so if that changes, you will definitely be updated, but this at least gets us to city council with a maximum contract request.
I am looking for planter pots. So that maybe this is it, the 30 planter pots. I think we were really excited about the pots that would go in front of
Yes,
downtown businesses. That's what that one is?
yes,
Okay. And they're self-watering.
yes. Definitely. And there, we feel like there's sufficient funds allocated for any of those irrigation replacements and then also reconnect. So we looked at that budget carefully to make sure that we thought there was enough covered in that.
Patty, do these actual landscape selections align with what we discussed? Okay.
We have the pistache. Because I'll never call it pistachio again. Andy might have looked, I was like, and that tells you what I know about plants, but okay.
How long is the how long is it expected to take with all the pavers and tear out and all that?
15 days. Yes.
So we're getting new landscaping for
Yes.
Christmas.
That is the goal. Yes, assuming that weather participates, this is a huge crew that will come in, and they've got 4 days' worth of demo, and then they'll be planning. Yeah.
So they've already
So
secured all
excited.
these plans?
Yes, those were direct quotes from their vendor.
Is there, I assume the answer is no, is there electrical in the median?
No, we do not.
Well, you give a mouse a cookie, now I want landscape lighting.
Now you want lighting? Well, we can always go back with solar,
Oh, that's true.
so.
Okay. Any other questions for Raylan?
So what is the business today? Because it's gonna go to council in 2 weeks, correct?
So it would actually be a recommendation to city council for the downtown landscape contract in an amount not to exceed $562.50. And then that way, we're not assigning it to a vendor, you're setting the budget, and I will actually request that the council do the same. Because we'll definitely have the vendor for the steel planters and wall panels, since we're doing that separately, and so we're just approving a contract amount.
And what was the cost of this, the panel, the steel? Like, what did we take out of the?
It's the
project?
84,562.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Right in front of me. Thank you.
And so we do feel like that number is going to come down, which is why I feel good about your $562.50. But I did go ahead and plug in a 10% increase just to be safe, because we were waiting on their updated quote.
If we're, explain to me if I'm just misunderstanding. If we are making that a separate project, then wouldn't the amount we're recommending to council be not to exceed for the 416 number for just the landscaping?
We need a total project. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
We're
And
just
then,
doing it in two separate contracts, but it's one project.
absolutely. So your total project number is the 562, knowing that we will be paying two different vendors out of that, yeah.
But we're gonna include contingency, so the motion needs to be, an amount not to exceed $650,731 for total project.
That is up to y'all.
Because doesn't that, if we do the 562.50, the contingency is you would have to come back to us.
That's how I'm used to doing it. I would like to let you know up front what's kind of being built in, just in case. But that way y'all are alerted if we go over that total. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, your dad might have taught me that too. I learned a lot from your dad in the beginning also. So,
I'll entertain a motion to move forward with a recommendation to council for the project before you in an amount not to exceed $500,562.50.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Thank you, Sarah. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
gosh, that feels good.
Do we have any executive session?
I do. I've got a couple of items. I'll wait for Katie to get us
this time, we'll reconvene into regular session. However, there's no action to be taken based on our discussion, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, J.C.
We got out of an hour.
What's that like?
I promised y'all we would eventually get there. Bye. Thank you. Work hard. Hey.
Hey, this dome project, where's that at? 148? You said DOA. Dome.
That's the nursery.
Out there on, you said 148?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm at 80.
Okay. We got a gas now.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. The contractor negotiates how to get around that property. Whatever it costs him, we're better than the contractor
Yeah.
redoing that.
Brian and I are gonna go out there next Tuesday at 11 to meet with him, and I'm gonna express the safety concern. I'm not gonna dig across there and blow a gas line. So, yeah,
We don't. Color or white or both? We don't need to give Joan any other money.
right.
If there is a community on the contract.
So that's why I had Brian, your decision maker, decision making, we're gonna make a decision. Yeah, okay.
I was still at Paddock. What are you talking about? That was my doppelganger at home.